Up, everyone, and welcome to the Neutral Zone Talk Show. We have a good show tonight for you. A lot to talk about, a lot of things to cover tonight. And I just want to say, there's just so much going on right now. And y'all know how I do sometimes when I go in here and I get this thing started. Um, yeah, want to go to my phone and put some things up here and all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot to talk about, a lot going on right now. But I'm not even going to even get this thing started just yet without bringing in my special guest. I do have a special guest tonight, and then we'll get started. Y'all show your love. It's my homeboy right here, Mr. Richard Taylor's in the building tonight. Yeah.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, man? How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm pretty good, man. I thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been watching you for quite some time now. So, it's definitely an honor and pleasure to finally, be on the Neutral Zone Talk Show.
Hey,
I give
man,
you,
it's an honor to have you here tonight. Word is bond. It really is, and I'm not just saying that. And because I've been watching you too for a long, long, long time, and everything that you've done, man, has been outstanding. I mean, from the footage that you bring to what's going on in our community, it's just unbelievable. And man, hats off to you. Please don't never stop. Keep doing it, no matter what. Don't ever, never, ever stop doing that because we need more of that. Now, something else I want to bring up, okay? Before we get into anything, first I have to mention some of my sponsors here. Freight Tees. This is the T-shirt every week, y'all. He sent me a T-shirt for the show. I love this T-shirt. I hope y'all can see it. But yeah, Freight Tees is in the building with this. And another thing about this, you guys, if you watching this on something else and you have something you can scan with, this is his information right here that will take you directly to his website. It's Freight Tees, or you can go to freighttees.com, look it up that way. Either way, or you could just scan this, and go directly there as well. A few things I want to talk about. First of all, is about this situation with these police officers in Wilmington, North Carolina, that was just caught on cam. I don't know if you saw this or anything, man.
no,
Um,
I did.
yeah,
No, I
but
did.
it's getting heated here, And right now, because I want to catch the presidential debate with Biden and Trump going on, because there's an undercurrent that's going on that a lot of people aren't aware of, and most people think just because Trump is able to run again after doing all of these different things, as far as being convicted of 34 different 34 different crimes. You know what I'm saying? That he's going to win, or there's something going on. There is something going on, but we have to vote. But getting back to what I was talking about with these gentlemen in Wilmington, which one of them was saying that he's ready for this civil war. He's going to purchase an assault rifle. He can't wait to start killing niggers. This was one police officer to the next police officer. Now, Richard, man, what is your thoughts on this?
Um, wow. So we know that there's always an element of that particular attitude around the country. So whether the gentleman is a police officer, whether they're a doctor, whether they're a lawyer, whether they're in the military, whether they're in the court system, that doesn't surprise me. Now, the dangerous part about that is that he's in a position of authority in which he could use that authority to justify start killing niggas, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it doesn't surprise me. A lot of people are not that bold. And of course, he wasn't that bold. Evidently, I think it was caught on tape. He didn't know nobody was recording him, right?
Right.
So,
They actually caught him on the body cam. Well, the audio. Okay, so evidently, I guess, they're able to at any time record or just listen to what the officers are saying that are on duty, and that's how they got caught. This particular officer went by. As a matter of fact, um, hold on, let me just go back because I just had him right here. The officer's name was James Gilmore, and the other officer was Kevin Piner. Now this is right there. Hey, listen, I'm here in the Charlotte area, Gastonia. And Goldsboro's my hometown. We've all been through Wilmington. It's right next door to Goldsboro. It's around the corner, you might as well say. But there is so much of this going on, and people are taking it for granted in such a way, whereas it's like, and I know I brought up the presidential thing, this Trump thing. This is why you have to vote. This is why it's so important to get out there, do what you got to do to keep this man out of power, because this is the only way, after he's convicted this time of the crimes that he's done, once he's sentenced, then he can't run again. He can't. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is the first time he was actually convicted. Now, he was convicted with the other thing, but this is bigger because this actually was pertaining to campaign money, the hush money, which was paid to kind of curb the election for him and so forth. Because if had not that money had been paid, there's a possibility he wouldn't have been able to run in the first place. So that's why it's so important to vote, because these people really want a civil war. You wouldn't believe how many people that are out there right now that want a civil war, and sad to say, man, I got a lot of guns. I just do, because I'm afraid. And it's not because I'm trying to be bad or, saying I'm tough or anything like that. It's just the fact that it's reality is proven now that, this undercurrent that's going on of what they really want is to put us back 80 years ago. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've already started taking the certain laws, like affirmative action away and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So, I got too many friends that's not black. You know what I mean? Exactly. And I love them like brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? I'm not ready to say goodbye. When Trump came into office, I lost friends then. Believe it or not, I lost a lot of friends, man.
Why did you lose friends?
Because, all right, so the reason why I lost friends simply was because a lot of them jumped on that Trump bandwagon, and their true color showed. It came out. I mean, well, I guess you could say they weren't my friends anyway. You know what I mean? The same ones where it's just like, yeah, man, that guy's cool, whatever. Then they get with their friends, yeah, them niggers, blah, 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 blah. But the sad thing is, we say it all the time, them niggas this and them niggas that. You see what I'm saying? And it's just a habit of it's just a habit of nature, man. I mean, I came up hearing it. I mean, do you say nigga a lot or?
No, I try not to say it. I do it sometimes, like for emphasis, like for real emphasis. But,
yeah.
And with the, like I said, the political climate. I'll give you an example too. Like around 2019 when they were running, I was actually in a recovery program out in Pisgah Forest, way past Gastonia, out past Asheville.
Okay.
In this recovery program, it was a Christian-based program, but I was literally the only black guy in there for a majority of the time. Like full of white brothers, they all of them going through struggles. Some had made it out, some were pastors and everything, right? So we're in service today, and most of the people out there were Trump supporters, right?
Right.
So, I don't really get into the political thing because I know it could, it could cause a divide. But because I was there for recovery, I didn't let that bother me. They was like, yeah, we got, Trump is the one who God's want. But on another radio show, I'm hearing, so I realized, okay, people are confused. Like, but while I was there, I was like, well, these people, they're good otherwise. Like, of course, some of them were self-proclaimed rednecks. Like, they called themselves rednecks. But, and they would ask questions, because what I learned was a lot of them from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and, Black Mountain, North Carolina, they never were around black people. So they were literally asking me questions about, hey man, is it true, or this, that, or, how do y'all do it? Because they had no idea. So that let me know that people are ignorant, not in a bad way, but they're just ignorant because they have no knowledge. So the things that affect us as black people in this country, some white people have no knowledge about. That doesn't mean that they're racist. That just means that they don't care, because there's no black people where they live. So, and then when they get around black people, then they have to learn that, okay, we're more alike than different. But some of them are taught the racism by their grandfathers and their great grandfathers. So that's a slippery slope, because I used to be like, I used to be very pro-black, think every white person was racist.
Yeah.
But I tried not to have that attitude, because I realized that, all of us are under this system that actually wants us to think that way. Like, oh yeah, we every white person I see wants to kill me. Now there are some out there that are like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, which are like those police officers in Wilmington, right next to you. And something else, man, is I'm glad you said that also, because again, like I said, I have too many friends, man, that are different nationalities, not only white friends. I got friends from the Middle East. I have friends from Africa. I have friends, from Colombia. Man, I got friends from all over the world. Dennis, though, living in Maryland and living. I've been in a few places, so I've met quite a few people who still to this day remain my friends. And getting on another subject. And speaking of that, because with this thing with Trump and all this stuff, he's the one that divided everybody. Let's just put that out there. He divided people, in general in America. Okay, but I wanted to say this thing that's going on, and I know you've seen it. If you see TikTok, or some people may have seen it on Facebook, this thing about this young man, Julio Fulio, which down in Florida, who was just killed. Was an up and coming rapper, had music out there, but I don't know if you've seen any of his videos or anything, but he literally was at their graves talking about, this nigga dead, this nigga got it like this nigga, yeah, we did this, we did, literally rapping about it. And on his birthday, I think he was 23, on his 23rd birthday, evidently it caught up with him. He went out. They said he was drinking. He didn't even drink. He was drinking that night, started drinking, hanging out with some girls, ended up at a Holiday Inn Express, and they caught up with him and killed him. 4 people got hit. He was the one that died. And now there were people, I've seen people on TikTok on the other side, yeah, we got you, blah, blah. I'm like, man, what is going on with our youth? And the reason why I asked is, before I go any further, what's up, Rabbit? I seen you out there, said everybody need firearms. You're right. The way things are going right now, these people are crazy out here. You're absolutely right, Rabbit. But, yeah, man, I just, what is going on with our youth? And what can we do as a community to pump the brakes on this thing? What is your opinion?
There are so many factors that goes into the current climate, not only at Julio Fulio in Florida, the south side of Chicago, Norfolk, Virginia, Goldsboro, North Carolina, where a young lady lost her life last night.
What?
Kingston, another girl. Yeah. A young lady lost her life getting off of work at 2:30 in the morning, pulling up to her house, didn't even get out of the car good before somebody opened fire on her. So, there, and there's definitely a spiritual aspect to it. First of all, there's a spirit of murder, a spirit of lawlessness, a spirit of hatred, spirit of self hatred, that comes from a variety of sources. The main thing is that we as a people really don't know who we are. As a people, we don't know the greatness of our past. We only know of our time here in America, which is only 400 years, as they say. So we've been conditioned to see ourselves as less than, you know, and then when you see yourselves as less than, you treat yourself as less than. You feel like you don't deserve to be less than. Like, you don't know how many young men I see that just have fed into the mindset that, I can't have that. That's too nice for me. That's too nice for me. When you have that mindset, then you don't value your life and you don't value the lives of people around you.
Right.
But so many things as far as, of course, the lack of the nuclear structure in the family. Even back in the days, if the father wasn't around, you had enough family members, uncles and
Absolutely.
grandmas. Like there was a big community where it's just not a single mother trying to raise a child with, or five children with no help. There was always a coming together of the community, and that we see it now in some regards when things like this happen, but in some regards it's almost too late because the young men out there now, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, they are already conditioned, like I said, in that mindset to think, okay, well, it is profitable, it is respectable for me to kill you and get on tape and brag about it, or for me to celebrate your death just because you stayed on another side of town as me. Now and once again, not just this town, but all towns, to grow up in an environment to see your brother as your enemies. I think of the book Negroes with Guns that was written in like the 1800s. It was a black man named Richard Williams who advocated for self-defense because during that time, of course, blacks were getting lynched, raped, murdered, kidnapped, things like that. So he advocated for guns, and then you had the offshoot, the Deacons of Defense, the Black Panthers, and all of them advocated for guns for protecting us, ourselves, our community.
Right.
So somewhere along the line, and you mentioned a very powerful factor, which is music. A lot of people want to discount that fact, but music gets into your soul. And I always relate to the fact that when I was coming up in the 90s, I listened to Biggie, JC, Dr. Dre, Mobb Deep. They taught me what weed to smoke, what guns to carry, what liquor to drink, what cigars to roll up in, what cars to drive, what drugs to sell. So it's a very powerful dynamic full of all factors. The educational system.
I still say, and I have to, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to bring this up, like what you just, the thing with the music that you just passed over, because still even in our time, I don't think it got as bad as far as underground. The ones that I remember that brought it into full light was NWA. And, that was the first time, and I liked it because I was young and I liked it. But I saw something else today. And this guy, because you got young men going around here like, yeah, I die for my hood. And somebody was like, so you would die for something that belongs to the housing authority. You feel me? You dying for the housing authority. Because it's just like, when you go to elementary school, when you go to high school, a lot of those kids that are in elementary school aren't going to be at that high school because their parents may have moved out of town or whatever. And that person is, for the time being, forgot about until you become of age and you start thinking, oh, man, I wonder whatever happened to such and such. You see what I'm saying? And we forget, okay, I know this your hood, that's your homie, But you know, you listening to this music and you get on that level of thinking, it's subconsciously, you go to sleep with that in the back of your mind. Because just like you said with Biggie, man, I would go to sleep like, yeah, yeah. It's programmed in our minds.
You said a great word.
So it helps us. So, you know, my thing is, I personally feel like as a community, we also have to get back out there and, you know, kind of a petition for better messages, better narratives in the music that's been, you know, broadcast now, because I don't hear any more positive music anymore. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear it anymore. What has happened to that? What's happened to that good time? Think about it, man. We used to go to a dance or a party and you look forward to dancing with a girl. You know what I mean? You know, what happened to that? You don't see couples dancing like, unless, you know, it's a married couple, they doing something special. They gonna dance and do all of that. Me and my wife, I don't care what we gonna dance. And then if you say the word slow drag, they don't even know what that is. They don't know what slow drag mean. All right. And listen, y'all, you see the number up here, 980-349-8985. You're welcome to call in. If you want to put your input in, you're welcome to call in. We'll leave the lines open for you. But again, if I go and there's just this new generation, you say anything about slow drag, they have no clue what you're talking about. And that was the highlight of, you know, the night. Is like you walked in, you saw a girl, or, you know, or whatever, you know, whatever you were into. So, you know, I'm not saying, but you saw that at the end of the night, you saw that, you know, you wanted to slow drag. You slow drag, there's a possibility. There was a possibility.
Yeah.
That you two might be able to hook up. That might be your new girlfriend. That might be your new boyfriend.
Oh yeah, that's how a lot of relations started. At the dances, right? You know, you dance with them for too long, y'all go together now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now everybody want to be gangster. Everybody want to be gangster.
It's the scripture says that the love of many has waxed cold, right? So love has waxed cold in this world. And you know, back to the switch of the music. Like I said, we had the NWAs, and actually, their number one song was "F the Police." It wasn't "F you, nigga."
Yeah.
It was "F the Police." Right?
Exactly.
You know, of course, but then it kind of morphed. But even in that, we had the positives: the KRS Ones, the Grand Poobahs, the Grand Nubians,
X-Clan, Public Enemy.
You know, Tribe Called Quest. There was a variety. So if you did want to get gangster, or if you did want to get party, or if you did want to get conscious, you had that, you know, that different diaspora. So this is what I hear back in the 1990s, right? When Clinton passed the mass incarceration bill, they said that there was a meeting between record executives, the major record executives, and the private prison industries.
Yep.
And the record executives told their A&R, said, look, we have made an agreement with these prison systems. Now, the only way that they're going to keep their agreement and make this money is we keep their prisons 95 or 85% full. And then they said, well, how do you do that? Then that was the implementation of the promotion of all of what we see now. Now, people try to dispute that meeting, but because of the conspiracy,
the meeting happened.
and so, but and then when I look at that, there is a correlation right around that time frame when the music all turned to gangster, drugs, hustlers, shooting, pimping, hoes, lean, drinking, serve, sipping on some scissor. You know, all right around that time that's when the music shifted. So I can't discount that. Back in those days, like I literally had friends that came from good homes, but when we turned on that music and we went out to do some things that, well, I mean, like we had to smoke, drink, turn up the music, and then we was ready to go do something crazy because we thought we had some beef with some other guys across town or on the block or about, you know, some reputation thing. And we weren't the only ones. Everybody
Yeah,
walked around listening to the same
the
music,
same music.
constantly telling you that your brother is your enemy.
And that's the whole narrative today. Even young ladies are, looking at them on their, themselves like, less than a woman, less than a lady. They don't mind being called bitches. They call each other bitches now. And that's a sad thing too. And that still, it goes back to the music. And that was the easiest way. I think that is the easiest way to get in to the subconscious mind of our young people. Because just like you said, I remember, when it was positive, and the king of rap, come on, you in the car, you with your boys, you're in that frame of mind. You know what I'm saying? You thinking about rapping and dancing, and seeing if you can get yourself a nice young lady or what have you. And that's where it stopped. This is just crazy, man. It's something else I want to bring now. Okay, so Anthony Council said that I'm gonna call him Rabbit, but anyway, Anthony Council said NWA first uncensored gangster rap, 2 Live Crew first rated X rap. Rated X rap. Lil Kim first female rated X rapper on wax. So what were you saying with that, Anthony? Man, call in, Rabbit. Call in. Because I didn't see. Evidently, you must have said something before that. I might have missed that part. But yeah, I might have missed that part. But yeah, all of these, but still, even with that, it wasn't as bad as it is now, because this is just one narrative now. It's one narrative. There is nothing. It's just one narrative, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad part. That's what I'm like. There has to be something, because first of all, we have to be on their level to understand where they were coming from, because we were once young too. We need to be on their level so we can learn how to move in their world, whereas they would want to listen to us. Because just like, back in the day, sometimes, when a person was more mature or older than you and they start saying things about hip hop or rap, we're like, man, whatever. You only know what you're talking about. This is what it is right now. And this music is what it is right now. I keep my ear to the streets because I DJ. And so, a lot of times, some of the places I go to, like, I don't necessarily like to play that kind of music anymore. But I will tell you this, if that's what they're paying me for, I'm playing it all night long,
Yeah, definitely. So, and the fact of the matter is, yeah, we do have to relate to them in regards to knowing where they've been. Like, and I see it. Like, I was like, bro, I can't be mad at you, but we won't just out there killing to be killing. You know what I'm saying? It had to be something. But now it seems like if you shoot, you get more rep, within or more strike within the game culture. Now,
that's a part of the narrative. It's all a part of the narrative.
But we gotta still get out there. Like, and I hear people say all the time, man, them young boys got them guns, man. If you go out there with respect and concern, and they see, that, okay, you ain't scared of me. All right, talk to me then. You know what I'm saying? Give me a way out. Like, it's easy to say, okay, well, yeah, y'all go put the guns down. Y'all go put the drugs down. Y'all go put the, what the scamming down, right? But okay, what else you got for me? Yeah, I'll put it down if you got something for me. So we as men with businesses, men with ideas, men who have made it, we have to be willing to get out there and get our arms and roll our sleeves up and be willing to sacrifice, whether that's time, whether that's resources, whether that's energy, whatever we have to give. But it's a hard task though. It's a heavy task.
It is. And I got Reggie Jackson here, made a statement. He said one of the big issues is presence in these neighborhoods. We just aren't present. Although there are lots of single moms, we men just aren't present in the hoods. They need to see us in the hoods, and we need to I'm sorry, I lost her though. And we need to offer a weekend camp and things like that. But they need something that is constant. And we had the boys club coming up, which we did. And what do these kids have today? They got this music. They got music and they got these right here. That's what they have. And this is the other part of, the music is one thing, but this is the other part. This is like the the cherry on top with everything else, because they get the music from here, they get their ideas from here, and if you think about it, I've always said that the internet was like a gift and a curse, because back in the days, I remember I've heard stories like people used to talk about, hey man, I was in Vietnam, and they would tell me these stories. It's crazy because they would paint a picture and I could see it in my mind, like happening, how this man got killed or whatever. He got blew up, man, his buddy, fell on a hand grenade, and that's how he died. Now, these kids can pick up this phone and literally watch a person blow their own brains out, watch what's going on in war right now, see the bodies from people that was blown up or what have you, just see it. And it's like, it's all reality. So it's like they're getting it and it's nothing. It's nothing. And what the part that I miss the most, that I think we are truly missing, is the part of love and wanting to make more love, and wanting to get out there and meet that special somebody, and wanting to go somewhere and dance, and wanting to do, because that was fun. I mean, regardless, if you dancing, if even if it's a young person right now, their favorite song come on, man, they you know what I'm saying, and they start. They feel it too, but it's not that important anymore. It doesn't take, it's just not a real factor anymore, man. And it's like, it's almost like we're lost. And there's an answer. There's a way. There's definitely a way back in. Whereas, you know what I mean, our younger generation learned how to, where they actually learn how to respect their elders, which is something else that's missing. And whereas, somebody else said something about, you said something about this earlier too, whereas a community raises the children, because like Tom put it out there last week about what you do your best with your kids and they get out there with their friends, they do this and that. But see, it takes a village. It takes a village. Just what you were saying earlier, I think, as well. It takes a village. But now it's so hard to be a village to help raise your kid, because there's always, now you say something to my kid, we got problems, and then that starts. I mean, I can see if it's somebody that's negative coming out, they're just talking to your kid like he, you know what I mean, like he a piece of crap because he's a piece of crap. That's different. But I'm just saying is, if my neighbor up the street see my kid doing something crazy, he's like, hey, come over here, I'm going to call your daddy. Look, you better blah, 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 blah. We don't have that anymore. We need that now. That's just something else that's missing. And also Anthony Council said that they see it on video games. Yep. So much that I don't think they realize how real death is. Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah. And they're desensitized. Like once you see so much, so much, so a magnitude of death, even, sex, they have the, like little kids these days that I be running around, they with 9 or 10 and they know, what I'm saying? They, who, they ask me about people. I'm like, yo, how you know that? I was watching Pornhub. So that is another narrative of what you're saying, the desensitization, of, that love, like, before, we had to sneak and find a magazine and old magazine, or go dig under somebody, your uncle couch and find out you didn't get that often, but now it's like right there for you, so you don't have that excitement, that giddiness. Oh Lord, I ain't never seen that before, you know what I'm saying? Forget that girl. That girl, man, she a hoe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. No respect.
It's a lot of dynamics. When you talk about the mindset of the young. But he hit it right on the head. I don't know if that was my man Council or Reg, but it is the presence, because once again I go to a lot of these single parent homes in the neighborhoods, and there is no men present. And if the men are present, a lot of times, not all the time, they are smoking, they are drinking, they are just hanging around. They're not showing a young kid an example of what a man should be, or what of course, we got people who feel like, yeah, man is supposed to walk around and carry guns and sell drugs and make money and mess with all the ladies in the neighborhood. Some people have no concept of, what a man, or that's a male who does those things, but that's not a real man. A real man protects his community,
Right.
Protects his children, protects other people's children,
Right. Right.
Like, and that's why we are a communal people. We are a community oriented people, but going back to where we are, we have sometimes taken on the capitalistic nature. Oh, I don't care about y'all eating. I got mine. Y'all better get yours. We taking on that mindset, whereas we don't have that Ubuntu principle. Now, the Ubuntu principle is narrated like they said, and this is an African parable. They said a white man came to an African village with a whole bunch of kids, and he came with a big barrel of candy. And so he told all the kids to line up on the front line, and whoever wins the race to the finish line will get the big barrel of candy. And so when he said go, all of the African children locked arms and walked to the finish line together, because they realized there's no use to one of us having the candy if all of us can't have the candy.
Wow.
And that is a principle that we've lost.
Now, and again, I don't mean to jump off the subject, but I have to say, yeah, that's real powerful, bro. That man, that's deep. But I want to talk about your book, all right, and your books. Let me rephrase that, because I know that there's more than one. Now, how many books is it?
I've written 4, and I wish I'd have known that I had a couple of copies around. Well, yeah, I've written 4. Yeah, I've written 4 books.
Okay, and what are the names of your 4 books?
Well, the first book is called Brushes with Death, The Blood of Jesus. So that book is pretty much details my life in the streets and all the dangerous situations that I survived, and pretty much how God saved me from all of those dangerous situations, hence the name Brushes with Death.
And you see, this is why it's so important that we need more people like you, speaking the way that you do and speaking up the way that you do in our community. And it's another hats off to you for that, man. And another salute to you. Let me show you some love on that, because like you said, you said something earlier. You said you watched the show and everything, but I've always kept my eye on you and what you've done and what you are doing. And I have so much respect for you and what you are doing and what you are about, what you've been through, and what you try to bring to the community as far as your responsibility, your part, doing your part. And you are doing your part. And once again, let me give you this. Really, man, because that's, we don't have enough. There's not enough of you. There's not enough of us. Let me rephrase that, because I do the same thing, especially when it comes to these young men and women. Because like I said, I know how to move in their world. And sometimes I get a little confused because I'm like, y'all crazy as hell. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. But still, now you got 3 more books. How about the other 3? What's the name of the other 3 books?
The second one I wrote is actually called Wrongfully Accused, Rightfully Acquitted. Now, that's about me being falsely accused in Norfolk, Virginia, rape, kidnapping, abduction with intent to defile, and about 5 other charges. I was falsely arrested, locked up, had to go through a week-long trial, in which, of course, the truth came out. I was found not guilty of all charges. And, that caused me to write that book. That was my way of healing from that experience, because that was, like I always tell people, I've been in jail for things I've done. So that's no, no problem. But when you're facing the rest of your life for something that you didn't do, that's a total different feeling.
Right.
So that book is, one of my favorites. I guess, well, all of them are, but yeah, that was a very learning experience, and I learned about so much about the judicial system, court appointed lawyers, and the legal system, and how it's easy for guys who were in my position. Like I'm one of the lucky ones, because you always hear about that situation. Then 20 years later, you find out that the guy didn't do it, but then he can't get 20 years of his life back.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, man, that's powerful. That's deep, man. I didn't, God knows, man. I can't imagine. I mean, there was one time when, I was accused of something, and I was in Greensboro. As a matter of fact, it's crazy that Anthony Camp, well, Rabbit's up here. He know who I'm talking about. I was there, and I got a phone call because I was living in Greensboro. And I had to go home. My mom was like, the police came over here, and it was just something about they wouldn't tell me nothing. So I'm like, yo, I'm a good kid. I ain't did nothing. What could possibly be wrong? But I had to go down there, and what they laid on the table was they tried. Well, some girl said I raped her, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then they told me the name and all of this stuff. And I had to think, of like, oh. I said, no. So I told them what really happened. I said, matter of fact, ask her to take a lie detector test, because I know better. You know what I mean? And I knew what it was. So it was like 2 days later, I was back in Greensboro. I got a phone call from this detective and said, hey, man, as soon as I said take a lie detector test, she said, no, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to do it. Because, the truth is the truth. But... yeah, facing something like that when you didn't do it, that's like, hey, and too many times that happened in our community, way too many times that happens in our community, and that's a sad thing. But also now, let me ask you about your third book.
So the third book is called Son of a Preacher Man. Now, as this book relates to the conversation, it details, my father, who's Pastor Prophet Roger Taylor, who's still living. Shout out to him and my mama, Letta Taylor. But it details his life as a child, growing up in a single-parent home, being abused, having lack, even almost overdosing at one time. But then it switches to when he transformed and, got saved, became a minister, married my mother, and became the father to me and my two sisters that he never had. So it focuses on the overall importance of that fatherhood, like how he taught me work ethics, morals, dedication, persistence, honesty, all of those qualities you learn watching a man who's always home, never running the streets, never drinking, and things like that. And it also stresses that the detriments to the community that we see today because of the lack of fatherhood, but also the benefits. And I provide certain examples, certain statistics of children who have strong men in the household. And I didn't see a lot of times right now there are not men in the household, but they are strong men in their children's lives. Like black men do have that stigma of not being involved in their child's life. But I must say, for the most part, most of my friends, most of the brothers I know who are not with their child's mother, they are still actively involved in their children's life. So I do want to give a shout out to all the brothers out there who are playing those roles.
Big shout out to them.
There's something, though, about a father in the house, though. It's something different when your father is in the house that definitely gives you that structure that many young men need
Right.
because like I tell everybody, like my mom could tell me to do something. I'm like, whatever. I'm mumbling under my breath. I'm acting like I ain't here. I'm stomping my feet. My dad can tell me something, and it was yes, sir. You know what I mean? It was none of that. So, especially as a man, you get to that age where, man, go ahead. And your mother, she's not a disciplinarian by nature anyway. She's going to love you. So, even though she might beat you, even though she might tell you to go to your room, next 10 minutes, she asks you, do you want some ice cream from the store? Because it hurts her to see her child hurt. But her father, I don't care. Boy, get in that room quiet. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a different dynamic with that. Now, shout out to all the single mothers too who do a great job, because I definitely don't.
Yeah, I got to send a shout out to my mom, and I'm gonna tell you why. My mom raised, had 8 kids, and I'll be honest, man. She raised us in such a way, whereas I knew how to respect. Number one, whether it was my elders, or whether it was a female, or it was like all because of the way that my mama was treated. Number one, and how she was mama and daddy, because she really did. She would put her foot up my tail, and I'm telling you, I had this kind of fear for my mom. I really felt like if I would have tried my mom, y'all would have read about. She probably would shot me, because my mom. I had one of those moms. She didn't play. So all of my siblings are blessed. When I say we are all blessed, we are all blessed. It's a blessing to have all your siblings, number one. But number two, to have all, no issues, like none of us ever been to jail or prison, like, had us do time or anything like that. Now, out of 8 kids,
That's a testament.
You see what I'm saying? My mom was mom and dad. But again, you look at the guy that I am, people can't say, he don't have any respect for this, or he don't have any respect for that. You know what I mean? I drink my beer, but you know what I'm saying? I do it responsibly. I don't go out of, I'm not out of control. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of the ones who would drink and you see me, I'm like so drunk. Hey, I'm not one of them people, because I was taught and trained better than that. And it does. And I do agree with you, because some kids need both. Some kids need both, because every mother ain't like my mother. You know what I'm saying?
Is Dexter your brother too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a testament. A shout out to Dexter Jones, because there's no like flaking in the men that y'all are. So I said that but that's why I had to say shout out to the single mothers who do a good job, because there are some great single mothers who raise great men, and I definitely you and your brother, and I probably know your other siblings, but I just know them, you and him, but.
And I don't want to like overlook the people who are saying things and coming in and chiming in. Tracy Monroe just came in and said Richard Taylor is doing God's work. He also said good show, James Swinson. Now, speaking of which, Tracy Monroe, another one whose mother raised him. You know what kind of guy he is. So it's not really necessarily every kid, because they don't have a mother and father in the home, that they're going to come up a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I can speak the same of, I can speak the same of my homie Rabbit. You know what I mean? Him and all of his brothers, man, are upstanding cats. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many other families I could tell you about that, so again, like you said, big shout out to all the single moms that still got your kids going to school, going to college, still doing their things. And because it gives you something to feel proud about. You know what I'm saying? And on
the flip side, though, let me interject this, because I point this out of my book. Like, just because a parent has 2 homes, 2 parents, and has a good home, because
Go ahead.
The great job that they did, I still went off the deep end. And I can name about 10 or 15 more of my friends who came from the quote-unquote good home, 2-parent home, lived in a good neighborhood, and we was out there sometimes doing worse than brothers like yourself. So it's not a formula. You know, it's up to, at the end of the day, it's up to the child, because once again, I know children who came from both parents who are drug addicts, but they use their mind to see, okay, I'm not going to follow that life because I seen what it did to them. So, yeah, it's a weird dynamic when it comes to that, because like I said, a lot of my friends came from 2-parent homes and ended up 10, 20, 15 years, murder charges, robbery charges.
Yeah.
So,
Now, you know, and even speaking on that, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm an upstanding, I got respect, but, you know, just like anybody else, you know, I had my friends and we were out in the streets. We did some things that we weren't supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? We did some things that, like, you know, excuse my coughing, y'all. I'm just getting over a really bad cold. But we did things, man. I was out there. I can recall some things that I did that truly to this day, man, I just feel so bad about it. And it's like, if I can just turn back the hands of time and say that, you know, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I wish I could just erase it, but I can't. And these things do happen when you're kids, but now it's an overdrive with the new generation, because like we've been talking about, it's like it almost feels like it's out of control, because the two biggest things that we talked about was the music and these right here. So it feels like it's just out of control, you know, to that point. And again, we got off. Look, man, we got off subject again, because you left out one thing. You left out your last book. You know, all of his books are interesting, y'all. That's what's happening. He got interesting books. Y'all make sure y'all go out, look for this man's book. Go to his. If you're not friends with him, please, friend Richard Taylor, look him up. But please go to his page. And how else can they look for your books? As a matter of fact,
my books are on Amazon. You can go to Amazon and type in Richard Taylor and some of the titles. You can also go to my Facebook page, Taylor House Publishing. But also make sure you go to my YouTube page, Taylor House Publishing, and make sure you subscribe to that. But yeah, you can also, if you want to call and get the books direct, that's how I make the most of my money. So if you do want to call and get them directly from me, 919-587-7782 or Taylor Publishing House at gmail.com. And I do have one copy of, I have a lot of copies of my books laying around, but I just didn't have it. This is Blue Lights in My Rear View. This is my latest book, which details the history of the police brutality that we have faced in America. All the way back from, you know, the first police, who were the slave patrols, all the way up until now, where you see the George Floyds, the Breonna Taylors, the Tamir Rices, all of those incidents. I just give you a detailed history of how, you know, police in America have always targeted, black men, for that matter, even black women. From, you know, like I said, the slave patrols, the black codes, the 13th Amendment laws. So I just pretty much break down the history of why we have seen what we are seeing. Of course, you know, it's not very publicized now because we've gotten so immune to them, but there's still police killings, unjust police killings happening almost on a weekly or basis here. But, you know, they try to keep those things out of the media now. For what reason? But yeah, that book was brought on about, you know, of course, the George Floyd situation, and, you know, a lot of people took to the streets, a lot of people protested. I just sat in my computer and, you know, got my feelings out. Bro.
That's real. As a matter of fact, y'all, just like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, Freight Tees, you know, it says, you know, Carolina, you know, black owned businesses, B.O.B. And it says what? Promote and support. So once again, he just told you where to get his books from. Y'all, we have to do this in order for us to grow as a community. We have to get off the hate wagon and get on, you know, the team wagon, whereas, you know, we're all pulling together. So check it out on Amazon, on what is it called?
Amazon.
Yeah, okay, but they call their books or something else. It's a different section, right?
Oh well, well they are in ebooks too. They are
Yeah.
on ebooks, Kindle, or
Okay.
Amazon.
So
They
yeah,
do
so you can
that.
get his books on Amazon. Just type in his name, Richard Taylor. Just like I tell you all the time, you can go to my website. I have things that I have a website also. It's called Swin Picks. But we have to support each other, just like we was talking about the T-shirt that I have on, which came from Freight Tees. And then, like my brother Dexter with the Moringa Wellness. And, let me tell you, we have to support our community because we have all of the necessary tools that's needed. You know what I mean? There's no other reason for us not to support each other than if you have a thing in you, if you just have some form of hate in you on what another person's doing. We shouldn't have this issue considering what we're going through right now. We shouldn't have this problem. And I hate that it's almost 9 o'clock, and I really wanted to see this debate, but it don't even matter because you know what? What we're talking about is way more important than what they talking about, and I can go right back and review that because they're going to
What
play it over
time
and
is
over
the
again.
debate? What time is the debate?
The debate is supposed to start at 8, I think.
It's supposed to.
Yeah, it was supposed to start at 8. But hey, listen, it's not like I said. This right here to me is more important. Just having the discussion because we don't talk about it enough. We really don't talk about this enough, and this is something that has to be discussed. And the more we talk about it, the more people join in and start thinking of solutions on how to get to the core of this issue that we have in our community. You know.
Yeah.
And I also want to send a big shout out to my homeboy Bruce hardworking Coleman. What's up, Bruce
up,
Coleman?
What's good?
There's been a lot of people up here, man. My man Slick Nick in the building. He was up here earlier. I saw Danny Sampson. Also gonna show some love for you, Danny. A lot of people that had came in here, I wasn't able to say anything because the subject is too big. Matter of fact, like I said, y'all, if you want to jump in the subject, you can. The number's right there on the screen. You're welcome to call in. It's 980-349-8985. You're welcome to call in. This is the Neutral Zone Talk Show. This is what we do. We talk about the facts. We have fun. We get sad together. We get happy together. This is what we do. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and hopefully, and Richard. Okay, so Richard, also, you have a podcast as well. Are you still doing your podcast?
Yeah, it's once again it's called Taylor House Publishing. I haven't had the name. I haven't thought of the name yet, but the name of the YouTube page is Taylor House Publishing. And if you would please go to the page, subscribe, check out a couple of videos. I cover the same thing that we're covering here. But
Got you.
police corruption. That's a big thing that I'm covering. County government corruption, deaths in the community, school corruption.
Yeah.
Just getting the information out there so people will be aware of what's going on, because a lot of these things, mainstream news is not covering. Like when you told me about that police officer in Wilmington, I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh yeah, that's big, man. Speaking of which, and I want to say this too, Desmond Vaughn. Let me shoot another shout out to Desmond Vaughn. Des said he'd rather hear this than the debate. Yo, Yo, Des.
You gotta be aware, man, what they talking about, though, man.
Yeah.
I don't like to hear him talk neither, but I know that a lot of it is, misleading. Some of it is written.
I mean, we got one of the biggest criminal in the world running for president, only in America.
Yeah, that says a lot about where we have gone.
Yeah, only in America, which goes back to what you were just saying about that police officer in Wilmington, North Carolina, who got caught on his cam in his car saying that he's ready for the Civil War. He's going to go get an assault rifle. He want to kill as many blacks as he possibly can. And there was 2 of them that was fired. It was going back and forth. So speaking on what you was talking about earlier, man, how, like, based on your last book, this is still very much alive.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? My uncle, Goldsboro had one black chief of police, and that was my uncle, Chester Hill. And he did a great job at the time when he was in there, because he did what he said he was going to do. He fought crime. It was strictly by the book, whether people agreed with him or not. I mean, if you was one of the people that got busted, I mean, hey, I mean, but I'm saying he did his job strictly by the book, you know? And the thing is, when you think about police officers like this, man, is gearing up to and want to prepare. They want a civil war so bad. And our young black community is killing each other. They're killing each other. If that should happen, where does that leave our community? What does that leave our numbers are so small. We only make up 12% of the United States anyway, but that leaves you in a place whereas you are, you know, you just outnumbered.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, my father, before he died, said something. He said he drove trucks across country. He said he went into one of the bathrooms and he saw on the wall, we no longer have to kill niggers. Give them guns and they will kill themselves. You see what I'm saying?
That's what we see.
Yeah, and that's what's going on. It's sad, man. It's sad, but what can we again? We have to keep asking ourselves, what can we do about this? It's necessary to keep having these conversations about these subjects. Because again, man, you know, this music is not helping. These phones are not helping. You know, and I know I'm bling blinging right now, because that's me though. But back in the days, and Rabbit can attest to this, we all had the black medallions. We had the Africa big black medallions back in the days. That's what we had, and it was and there was something with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not anything against another community or against white people or Chinese people, nothing like that. It was just the upliftment of our own people.
Exactly.
And this was right around the time, to be honest with you, when that meeting actually took place that you spoke about earlier, about with the music industry and the private sector prisons.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That was during that time. There was once a movement, and it was an upliftment of our people. So powerful at the time. Yeah. Malcolm X, we all wear hats with Malcolm X with the X, bam, bam. Everybody. Yeah. You know, by any means necessary. It's gone, man. It's completely, they got rid of it.
But we gotta see everything goes in cycles though. So now it's time to recycle that, you know, man, because remember in the 60s, right? If you remember in the 60s, it was civil rights, it was, you know, James Brown and Black and I'm Proud or whatever. So they had another, they said, okay, well, look, how can we stop them? You know, they got their civil rights, they're sticking together. How can we stop them? Here we go with the 70s.
Yeah.
The Superfly, the Mac, the pimp hoe culture, the cocaine. That's when they started, you know, moving into the 70s and the 80s, the cocaine thing, right? Because okay, so we got them, you know, they got their power back. Let's hit them with this, right? And that has degenerated until 2020. So now is that time for another cycle of regeneration, restoration. You know, let's shake this off. Let's shake the drug era off. Let's shake the gender war between us off. Let's shake all these things off and get it back together. And then be prepared for another, you know, for lack of a better word, attack. Because you know everything goes like even after slavery, what they had the Reconstruction period, where a lot of black people were successful, i.e. Tulsa, i.e. Wilmington, i.e. all of those black towns that were thriving. Then they literally they didn't play no games. They just said, okay, we coming to shut all this down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
and that's today. Like these guys, this was just last week that they were fired from the Wilmington police force. This was just last week. So people, you know, we need to be very aware. You need to have your head on a swivel. We all need to have our head on a swivel right now
I like that.
because there's a lot of undercurrents going on with what we're seeing. I mean, Oreo, come back in here. I see my little dog going in the one direction. I'm like, come on, don't go in that room because you do anything.
But see, that's the dynamic of it though, because you mentioned the police and their vitriol and their ability to hate or white supremacists or whatever. But then I gotta keep my head a swivel around my own. Because once again, I've never been robbed by a black white person. I've never been shot by a white person.
Right.
I've never been stabbed by a white person. The only people who have done that to me are people who look like me.
And I want you to think about something. Think about something. This is all a part of the system. When I say it's all a part of the system, because now the only music that you hear, and like I said, if I'm paid to do it, I'll play it for them. If that's what they're paying me for, I'll play it. But the only music that you hear in our community is negative, and it doesn't matter if it's hip hop or R&B. It doesn't even matter. It's a negative. The narrative is negative. Now, and it's all young people. You can't see anybody like a Big Daddy Kane coming back. They ain't gonna let him back in. You can't see nobody like PE. They ain't gonna let him. They ain't gonna put him on mainstream anyway. But if I'm 75 years old and I want to make a country record, and I'm a 75-year-old white man, guess what? I can do it. And I'm probably gonna go platinum because of my past. Explain that. I mean,
Well, see, the thing with the music thing. Why is it like that? Because then you have to look out at the rappers, at the Fulios, the Young Dirks, the King Vons, the Kodak Blacks.
Yeah,
they're coming from nothing, right? So you say if I rap about killing people, you're gonna give me millions of dollars. Now, of course, a conscious mind, like I was like, but a young man from the projects in Gainesville, Florida, where do I sign? You know what I mean? To get my mama out of this position, and it's been well documented that a lot of those rappers some are out there in their life, but it's been well documented that a lot of the rappers don't even do a lot of the things. I remember when it came out about Future. Future used to have Molly Percocets or lean or something. And they had a story on him. He don't even do drugs. You know what I mean? So that's the dynamic of it when people are, I hate to use the term sell their soul, but that's what people call it. But
I mean, I can agree. It'd be hard to say, hey man, we're gonna give you a $25 million contract to say.
For me to say, hey, go shoot. I'm saying, somebody came to me today. Like, I don't know, I mean, I'm really okay. I'll do it for a year, all right, but that's it. That's all you get. But you can't say that though. You can't. It's a whole marketing ploy. You know what I'm saying? To make these people, to create those images, those idolatrous images for people to look up and imitate. Like, imagery is so powerful too. We talk about the music, but also imagery. That's why they had music videos with
right.
So they're playing the music. They're putting that like I couldn't wait to get home after school and turn on BET before my parents got home because I couldn't watch it when they were there because they were prison. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't wait to Rap City. I had to be peeking out the window, looking at the TV, peeking out the window, making sure they would come home while I'm playing that. But it was so mesmerizing. You know what I'm saying? And now it's the same thing. They got all these drill rappers right here on YouTube. So you don't have to wait for BET. You can open up your phone and look up Lil Murky from New York.
That mumbo, and then you get a lot of them that get big, and it's like so many people say, they need to put some of that money back into their communities. And this is what I say to that, okay? Because you can't save the whole world. This is the money you earn. No matter how you earned it, it's your money that you earned. My thing is, if you want to put back into the community, put it back into the community with your narrative. Where you came from, where you are now, but what it's going to take to get you. If you can't get there the way that I did, this is how you can get here another way. By putting that's putting back into your community, because now you have a platform. You see what I'm saying? Now, you take like athletes, these sport athletes, they have a platform. They kind of do that way, where it's just like, yo, I work hard to get here. This is how I got here. You know, of course. Oh, that's right. We got, man, the second round drafted. That was today at 4:00. But okay. But anyway, I don't miss everything.
They got Bronny. Somebody picked up Bronny.
I don't even know. I gotta check that, man. I gotta check that. Do anybody know?
Did the Lakers ever get Bronny, or is it too early to tell?
I'm glad you brought that up. All right, because I'm a Lakers fan, and somebody was up because LeBron got so many haters, and I'm constantly defending his name because 21 years, just leave it alone, bro. That dude is a legendary.
They got him. They got him.
LA Lakers got him.
Lakers draft Bronny James, son of LeBron James.
All right. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do for all the haters? Because yesterday my man put something. Okay, Reggie just said it too. All right. So yesterday somebody put out there like, yeah, we don't need to do this. Listen, this man deserves his dream. If he wants his kid to play after 21 years and playing at the level that he's playing at right now, deserves to have that. If his son sits on the bench, so be it. You see what I'm saying? That his dream was to someday play in the NBA with one of his kids. That is a beautiful, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing right there. That is beautiful, man. That's freaking awesome. Now, we got a sharpshooter last night also. Yeah, man. This boy, oh my God. Yeah, he's pretty nice. We did pretty good. And of course, I know you heard Mikhail was traded from Brooklyn to New York. New York about to have a dream team.
Yeah, they building. They definitely building.
Yes, sir. That's right, Dez. I see you, Dez. That's right. Lakers. LA Lakers, baby. It's gonna be an interesting year. And we just got it. We got a new coach. JJ Redick is a new coach. We got to do some moving around though, because these players, you know, we got to get a bench somehow. And they out there.
We'll see what happens.
If we had Magic Johnson instead of Pelinka, I think we already be in good shape. But you know that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's dead, man.
But yeah, man. You know, and I know we've been all over the place because that's what we do here on the Neutral Zone, man. We keep it neutral. We keep it open. We can talk about anything. You know, and I hope y'all have enjoyed the show tonight. I know I have. I was gonna cut this show. I was gonna make it a real short show tonight because, like I said, the debate, I wanted to see it. But brother, I have to be honest that you're up here. You made the show even more interesting. Thank you for that. I'm gonna give you this too. You know, yeah, man. Definitely. It was a honor to have you up here tonight. And everything that we talked about, because these are real issues. And once again, I just want to tell you, don't stop what you're doing, because we really do need more people like you and myself. I'm going to include in the community to spread the word, you know, and talk about these things, talk about them. And people are going to have their own opinions. And like I said before, also is just, you know, just get off the hate wagon. Get off the hate wagon and just realize that, you know, we are all the same at the end of the day. We all go through the same struggles at the end of the day. If you look like me, the same struggle you talk about is the same struggle I talk about. And I'm not talking about financial trouble or stuff like, it's just going out and the police getting behind you. And if you do get pulled over, how you going to be treated versus the last person, if it was a person of another nationality was pulled over, how different it's going to be for you. You know, how different it's going to be for you when you do go and look at this different career, you know, at a younger age, or, you know, whatever age you are, you know, how they look at you differently. But, you know, Our younger generation, they choose to see what they do and characterize us by their actions now. You know, it haven't always been that way because at one time, when we were younger, it was a upliftment. It was a movement of, uplifting each other as brothers and sisters. You feel me? And we don't have that anymore. So we just got to get back to that brother and sister thing where it's like, just stop hating. Stop hating. Like this. Hey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to connect with my brother from the Freight Tees, man. I like that shirt.
Yeah, man. And it's, you look it up by, it's FR and the number 8.
Okay.
Tees.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, you should see his line, man. I mean, he got so much in his line. I mean, I always, give him a big shout out. And again, he's one of my sponsors also. He sends a shirt every single week. And of course, I'm going to wear it because he sends it, you know what I'm saying? And, my other brother, AJ, has a clothing line as well. And it's called Yak. And what that Yak mean, or YAK means is you already know. You know what I'm saying? But
okay.
I
like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Freight right here though, what he does, I will always support him and look out for him. And this is what we have to do, y'all, to grow. We have to. This is how we do it.
That's what we got to do, man.
Yeah.
Thank you as well, man, for allowing me to be on the platform. I hope you'll have me back again.
Man, be sooner than you think, bro.
Yeah, reach out anytime. If we got to do this again, I'm thankful. Thank God as well for you and for me and what everybody's doing. With the mindset of
man.
Bringing people together. So, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm honored. It's a blessing, and I hope to do this real soon again, man.
Hey, for sure. Once again, y'all show my man some love, Mr. Richard Taylor in the building. Go out and get his books. You can get his books on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type his name in, Richard Taylor, and that's how you get his books. He's got 4 books out there. Make sure you support this man because his books is powerful. Your kids need to read these books. You know what I mean? If they don't read them, you read them and tell them about this because we all learn from each other. I learn something different every day, and I've learned from you today, my brother. And with that being said, thank you once again for being on the show, y'all. We're going to see y'all next Thursday once again, and we're going to make this happen. And thank y'all for joining us, and y'all have a good night, all right? We'll see you soon.
Peace.